What if history wasn't lost, just waiting for AI to see it? This wall was dust, now it's a lost civilization reborn. The AI said ancient artists used this color. Experts laughed, until the ground proved the machine right. This city was buried for 3,000 years, now AI lets us walk its streets like we never left. The spark of curiosity. Dr. Heliora Vance, a historian of the Minoanesque Helioran culture, stared at the newly uncovered wall in Trench 7. It was a ghost of art, a smear of ochre, a single elegant foot, a curve of a faded blue line. In her mind's eye, she saw not just the fragment, but the lost whole. What did the people who walked here actually see? She muttered. Her question wasn't poetic, it was a technical challenge. She drafted a proposal to find out. The digital fragment. The team employed a drone-based multispectral scanner. It flew a precise grid over the fragment, capturing data far beyond human sight, mineral signatures of evaporated pigments in the plaster, micro-indentations from brushes, and the faintest charcoal sketch lines beneath the surface. The wall became a constellation of data points, a digital twin of decay. Data-hungry AI. This data was ingested by Athena, an AI model with a voracious appetite. Athena had been trained on a curated diet, the complete frescoes of Knossos, the tomb paintings of Egypt, Mesopotamian reliefs, and every digitized Helioran pot, seal, and tool ever found. It didn't know art, it knew mathematical relationships of form, color, and context. Pattern recognition. Athena analyzed the fragment. It identified the sinuous, organic line as Helioran period 3, style B. It matched the ochre hue to a specific local clay pit. It recognized the curve of the foot as belonging to a processional figure, a common motif in its training data. The AI began building a probabilistic framework for what belonged next. The first hypothetical expansion. A monitor flickered. Around the scanned fragment, the AI painted its first guess, a logical extension of the floral border, a suggestion of a second foot in anatomically correct proportion, a swath of background color statistically likely for a ceremonial space. It was coherent but sterile, a plausible collage. Archaeologist review. Dr. Vance's colleague, Professor Kale, pointed a stern finger at the screen. That lotus motif. It's correct for period 3, but it's from the northern tradition. This is a southern site. The AI is borrowing without understanding geography. This human insight was a crucial constraint. They labeled the element anachronistic/geographic mismatch and fed the correction back into Athena. Contextual layer. The project transformed. They didn't just feed Athena more art, they fed it the world. 3D LiDAR scans of the temple's ruins showed the wall's dimensions and ambient light paths. Geochemical soil reports listed locally available minerals, hematite for red, malachite for green, and rare trade pigments, lapis lazuli for blue. A fragmentary hymn describing a festival of return was translated and keyword tagged. Cross-referencing. Athena now performed a silent symphony of correlation. It linked the swirling pattern on a broken pot from a nearby workshop to the border of the mural. It found the same unique blue in the textile impression on a buried child's sarcophagus. The AI wasn't just filling a wall, it was rebuilding a cultural vocabulary. The scene emerges. A new image rendered. The procession was now complete, 8 figures, clad in layered linen skirts and tunics dyed with the project's verified palette. They carried objects gleaned from artifact records, an obsidian mirror, a sheaf of wheat. The composition balanced ritual symmetry with a natural flow that felt startlingly alive. The color controversy. The central figure's cloak was a shocking, vibrant cerulean, Athena's suggestion based on trace lapis lazuli molecules in the plaster. In a heated journal forum, traditionalists argued it was later contamination. No ruler would waste such wealth on a public mural, they declared. The AI, unmoved by economics, presented its statistical confidence interval, 87%. Dynamic simulation. The Helios lighting engine was activated. Using archaeoastronomical data, it calculated the sun's angle at dawn on the presumed summer solstice. Light flooded the virtual temple, the cerulean cloak seeming to ignite, while the carved reliefs cast shadows that pointed like arrows to the altar. The mural was no longer a static image, it was an experience tied to time and celestial event. The human touch. Digital artist Matteo took the helm. The AI gives us the body, but not the soul, he said. Using Athena's framework as an immutable underdrawing, he softened a jawline, added a glint of apprehension in one figure's eye, a hint of weariness in the posture of an elder. He introduced the imperfect humanity the algorithm couldn't infer from data alone. Immersive integration. The finished mural was mapped into the VR reconstruction of the Temple of Tides. Wearing a headset, Dr. Vance stood in the center of the pillared hall. The murals wrapped around her, glowing with calculated light. The sense of presence was overwhelming. She could sense the space's purpose, awe, intimidation, community. It was a hypothesis she could literally walk into. A new discovery. Weeks later, in a sealed annex, excavators found a better preserved mural. The central deity's headdress was intact. And there, in precise, undeniable strokes, was the same vibrant cerulean blue. The AI's controversial prediction was validated. The gasps in the dig tent weren't about color, they were about the realization that the model was learning to think like the Heliorans. Scale and ambition. Emboldened, the team uploaded the entire site plan, every foundation stone, drainage channel, and post hole. They input thousands of pottery sherds, loom weights, and bone fragments. The question changed from what was on this wall to what was it like to live here. Generative architecture. Athena, now trained on global architectural principles, began to generate. It proposed roofs with specific pitches for the rainy season, courtyards oriented for ventilation, and varied house facades that all adhered to a shared, culturally consistent grammar. The city grid from trenches became a living neighborhood, with textures drawn from local geology. Populating the past. Forensic data from skeletons, bone structure, muscle attachment points, likely nutrition, was processed. Athena generated a diverse population of faces and bodies. These avatars were then dressed in the woven patterns it had recreated from textile impressions, creating a crowd that felt individually random yet collectively accurate. Animated life. The scene was animated using agent-based modeling. Figures moved based on rules, a potter shaped clay at a wheel location marked by artifact scatter, traders gathered in the plaza space defined by a concentration of foreign goods seals, children played a game inferred from marked stones in a grave. The city breathed with statistically probable activity. The scholarly storm. When the video, A Day in Heliora, was released, the academic world split. A seductive fantasy, cried one eminent professor. It makes the unknowable seem certain. Others championed it. This is the new frontier. A tool for testing hypotheses about social flow and urban use we could only guess at before. The debate itself became part of the project's value. A new dialogue. The Athena Project was archived not as a final product, but as an open-source, living hypothesis. When a new dig at a sister site uncovers a unique tool, that data is fed into the model. The city flickers, and a blacksmith's workshop might appear in a new district. The AI's reconstructions are no longer seen as answers, but as the most sophisticated questions we can ask of the past. Every new fragment is a conversation starter with an intelligence trained on all we have ever found, forever refining our vision of what was lost.